Hello, JaKaPaK, and welcome to Tea Time. Today I'm drinking Breathe Easy by Traditional Medicinals that is supposed to help respiratory health. It's also delicious. I just watched a video by Day 9 about community and the importance of community and the Day 9 story and how community is the core essential part that sort of moved along. And he went through a lot of really good specific examples about community and how to be better about it, and I want to be better about it. I want to be a better human. So, as a result, here I am with you, the community, having a chat. If you haven't already watched that video, go ahead and watch it now. Seriously, it's really cool. You should probably check it out, especially if you're a content creator or you want to be someday, or you think it's interesting. Just watch it. I've taken the time to write down every single thing that I've ever done content-wise for StarCraft 2 since May of 2012, so about 3.5 years. I have been full-time StarCraft, doing StarCraft pretty much all the time and taking close to 0 breaks because I love StarCraft and it's awesome. I usually do about 12 to 14 hours of StarCraft a day, depending on, if it's a gym day, going to the gym and doing all that stuff and coming back. Takes a lot less time than going for a run, which is usually 25 minutes of interval training. So that there's some variety there and, different stuff like that. But the point is, here are all the things. I'm gonna go down, I'm gonna give a brief description of all of these things. If you're not familiar with them, I'm gonna link everything. Everything's gonna be all linked up so you can check it out. And the reason for this, the reason why we're doing this, so you're in the right mindset when we're talking about this, what am I gonna do for 2016? I want to be better. I want JaKaTaKtv to be better, and I want you to be a part of that. I want you to be a more real part of that than you've been in the past. And I want all of your ideas and your feedback to how we can do that, how the JaKaPaK can become empowered to make content or to help making content or just making the whole system, all of us, better as a whole. So let us begin. Tea Time, you're watching it right now. It's basically a series where I do a vlog and talk about whatever. Fast Facts is where I give 5 fast facts about StarCraft that, generally speaking, are mostly unknown. Some of them are a little bit more common than others, but they're like 99% useless facts from Fear Dragon, actually. They're pretty much the same thing, but in video format. Been doing them for a long time. Took a break when Legacy of the Void came out because everything was so in flux. Do we get back to that? Do we keep doing that? It was really successful. Bronze Science is really silly. I basically take an idea of a deconstructive mentality in the StarCraft community and I parody it. I use satire and explode it to epic proportions and conglomerate it around to sort of point out, like, oh, maybe this isn't such a useful mentality to have. Like, oh God, this is stupid OP. Maybe that's not so great a mentality to have. Maybe we can be better than that. Mostly it's funny and that's why I think people watch it and they enjoy it. And a lot of the people don't get the satire, which is quite funny as well. Challenge accepted. Been hard to get it off the ground. Been hard getting replays. I do have the replays for episode 4 in the replay folder. It's been tough to get that finished up, but basically it's kind of like Fun Day Monday, but instead of casting the replays, I do a very highly edited highlight reel condensed version, which ends up being around 10 to 15 minutes instead of an hour-long show like Day 9 did. And because that was such a cool part of the community that didn't exist anymore because Day 9 stopped doing it, so I wanted to, provide that and sort of fill in that hole. It's been harder than I thought it would be, but do we do that? Is that something we do in 2016? StarCraft mechanics. So this is anything from control group stealing, how to wall, all the different mechanics of StarCraft, explaining how they work so that you can have a less frustrating StarCraft experience. Anything hotkeys related is also grouped in there, all that kind of stuff. StarCraft is pretty much 2 things. It's strategy and mechanics. Mechanics is the execution of the strategy. The strategy is the ideas and the decision making. I've always been focused in on the mechanics because that's just what I naturally gravitate to. That's just what I naturally do. So Do we keep doing StarCraft mechanics videos? Music, gonna be working on some music stuff with Tempo. Actually gonna be writing a little bit of that today, working on some unit rap battles of StarCraft with him. It's gonna be fun. I also do original music. Should original music be part of what I do? And should we continue to do that? Ooh, original poetry. Ooh, yeah, writing, maybe. All things that I do, all things that I could make videos about, but maybe I shouldn't, maybe I don't. What do you want? StarCraft suggestions, bug reports to Blizzard. So this is stuff like the selection priority problem, the burrow thing that came up, which was like combined into a tea time that time around. But anytime I make a suggestion to Blizzard that I think will make the game more fun and less frustrating is kind of in that category of things. And then we have campaign. Campaign is kind of awesome for the YouTube algorithms. I think 40% of my minutes watched on this channel is from those 2 videos alone, because they're long videos and people want to watch them to the end. It's like the watch time is crazy. So that's really powerful. That could propel us to be successful, but there comes a balance. There's only so much time I have. Do I focus on things that I think or that you think are useful and good and that people enjoy, or do I focus on things that utilize or abuse to the best of my ability the YouTube algorithm in order to generate more subscribers and more views and more ad revenue over time? It's kind of a tricky question, right? Projects are really tricky because with projects, generally speaking, there's no video associated. There's no video series associated. It's just sort of like the core. Here's a video. This is what the core is. You should try it out. It's awesome. And I cut it up into a bunch of videos before, but I'm not going to do that this time around. When the core 3.0 is finished, I'm going to have 1 mega of the core video. It's going to have all the stuff in it. It's going to be indexed with annotations so you can zip around to the place that you want to see, but it's all just going to be contained in one video. Same thing with the staircase, the sandbox. The core, by the way, is a hotkey layout. The sandbox is a deliberate practice training experiment, and the staircase is and the cheese case are kind of together, right? The staircase teaches you how to play StarCraft with macro. The cheese case teaches you how to play StarCraft with micro. They're both different approaches, and depending on who you are and what you like, one of them is probably going to suit you a little bit better, and you're probably going to have more fun with one of them than the other one. And the staircase has been a lot of work on. The cheese case, not so much, but very heavy time investment in the cheese case, especially right now, because it's sort of like what cheeses are powerful and work. I can make a build that has 12 Blink Stalkers out as quickly as possible on one base. But is that powerful? Is that strong? In what matchups? All these different questions that have to be asked and tested and all that kind of stuff. It's not something that I can do on my own. I have to borrow very, very heavily from the experience of professional gamers and analyzing their replays and watching what they do and things like that. And because the meta is not really stabilized, it's really hard to find out which cheeses are powerful and which ones are not. So that's probably going to be a delayed thing. But in any case, these projects don't generate revenue almost ever. It's kind of a problem. Unless you count part of the revenue of Patreon, which is my main source of revenue, as part of these projects. Like someone is supporting me on Patreon because they want to see the core. But I don't know how many that is. I don't know what that percentage that is, which is why I'm going to ask you. Probably put some polls into this as well. That might help. But I'd really like some talking data, some qualitative data where you talk about what you like and why, what you'd like to see that's not even up on this list and why. All that kind of stuff I think is really what I'm going for here. But also there'll be polls, so please participate in those so I can know what it is that you all want to see the most and why. The why is my favorite, most important thing. And then we have casts. Casts, recently I've done a lot of casting on YouTube, and I've ended up lucking my way or stumbling my way into casting for some tournaments, ASL, RSL, Team Gravity Fight Nights, things like that. So do I keep doing that? Is that something that you all enjoy? And then under the cast, we've got the characters, Brojack and Noob Guy doing casts. We've got caster challenges that I've been doing with Drenok. And then we have just me casting a game of StarCraft solo or with someone else, but with no constraints around it. So that's it. That's everything. That's all the stuff. So I want to create I think the number one thing that I've been lacking since I left Tutorial Central is consistency. I've been kind of all over the place, saying yes to every project that came my way, just going for it, waking up pretty much without a plan and just doing StarCraft for 12 to 14 hours, and hopefully enough content came out of that so I can upload something to YouTube. And that's pretty much been my process. So I want to create a more consistent schedule of videos, and I want to do that with you. I want to find out what it is you like the most, what you dislike, what you would be willing to, support me on Patreon if I did. Be like, man, I'd like to support you on Patreon, but you don't do the stuff that I like anymore, so it doesn't make sense for me to support you. That's really, critical information for me to know. I think in an ideal situation, the whole of everything would be no advertisement at all. I shut off the ads. It makes no sense for me to do that now because I'm not even at a point where I can sustain myself with Patreon. If I get to that point, which is $2,000 a month, if I can get to $2,000 a month on Patreon, all the ads are coming off, absolutely. And I am like 100% just doing the things that the community wants all the way, no matter what. I might still end up doing that anyway as a 2016 experiment, more or less, to just see how does this actually work out. But that's the plan. We're gonna make a schedule. We're going to say goodbye, because we can't say yes to everything as much as I'd like to. We can't say yes to everything. So we're going to say goodbye to some of these things because there's only so much time in the day, even if it is 12 to 14 hours, 7 days a week. I always have this thought of like, I watched Netflix yesterday for like an hour. So if I hadn't done that, I'd be able to do this video series. So it's not that I need to cut the video series. It means that I need to stop doing anything other than working. And that's stupid. That's bad for your mental health to do. So I need to, first of all, make peace with that I'm not spending 100% of my time working. Even if it's something that I love, which I do really, really enjoy making these videos and working on these projects. So I need to find a balance. I need to find something that if I put in a consistent time effort, I can get out these videos consistently. And I'd like to decide that with all of you. So if you want to be crazy with it, give me your whole schedule. Give me your ideal, like, if you could make me, if you were like, Jack, as my employee, you have to do exactly what I say. So I want you to make a bronze science video every day, and that's it. Technically speaking, I could probably pull that off. It would be really hard, and it would be really fun, but I could probably pull that off. I'm gonna guess that all of you as a whole aren't going to all say the exact same thing, unless you'll probably say the bronze science thing as a troll, which I know you're gonna do it. But yeah, if you wanna get crazy on it, just be like, okay, in an ideal world, Jack, this is what I would like to see. You would be doing this every week, you'd be doing this every month, and you'd be doing this every day. And I'd be like, every day? And they'd be like, well, you told me to do the ideal. And I said, you know what, you're right. I did say that. So, if you wanna go balls to the wall, construct your ideal schedule for JaKaTaKtv, what you're most excited about, or just give me your feedback. Be like, man, I really, really like this, and I think this is crap. Or I like this, but it really, these things need to change about it for me to be like totally on board, really excited for, every episode to come back and sharing it on sharing it on my social media and my Facebook with my friends and showing them all this content, because actually that's the most powerful thing you can do. I mean, aside from support me monetarily directly, the most powerful thing that you can do is actually share my videos with people you know, which is crazy. It doesn't happen a lot, right? Because we're in a niche, it's StarCraft. Why would you show this to your grandma? Which I think is why Bronze Science is probably one of the more successful videos, because you can show Bronze Science to pretty much anywhere and they're gonna be like, oh wow, this guy's an idiot, or this guy is hilarious, or whatever. Which is something to consider too. We wanna be successful, we wanna do things that work, and we wanna do things that are useful. So that's it. The first time I recorded this, it took me an hour. I decided to do a second take. We are at 15 minutes. That's why we do second takes. My name is JaKaTaK, and as always, thanks for watching. If you have an idea for a video you would like me to do, please leave with any questions, comments, criticisms, concerns, or anything beginning with letter C in the comment section below, and I'll see you again soon.